than he is, and for all you know, he doesn't get any traffic anymore. But really, he's trying to create landing pages for potential markets that don't even exist. Just the odd person who tries to search for something. But he's not allowing him to focus on any particular market. He's not being able to dominate anything. So it's kind of like a free-for-all approach of trying to do everything at once. And so this next section, we're going to talk about something else. So this was a JCPenney commercial that ran back in 2012. And JCPenney has always been a staple company for offering huge, massive discounts in all of their services. And in fact, less than 1% of JCPenney merchandise was actually sold without a discount. And 3/4 of their entire product line was sold at 50% off or more. So one day, their CEO got the bright idea to decide that instead of selling a shirt for, say, $14 and marking it down to, say, $6, that would have sold the same shirt for $7 without a discount. And over the next 12 months, JCPenney sales tanked. So what does that teach us, really? Discounting is like an addictive drug to you and your customers. And if you keep doing it, that's when things turn really bad, because now you've trained your customers to only buy with a discount. And so can the discount spike sales? Yes. However, the long-term damage it does to your brand is just not worth it. And unfortunately, what are we seeing in the hosting market? This is just a screenshot from the shared hosting advertising section on Web Hosting Talk. And pretty much in every single ad, there is a discount, like 50% off, 75% off, 1 penny hosting. And in fact, the only company that I could not find on that page that did not have a discount in the title was HawkHost. But if you went to HawkHost, I think last time I saw his website, he's actually running a 99-cent hosting sale. So we're kind of seeing a free-for-all, a frenzy of one guy decided that he was going to offer 50% off, and now instead of offering 50% off at, say, Christmas, we're doing it all the time. And this is, like, I've never seen another industry, I've done a lot of research in terms of looking at other industries as well, and I've never seen such an industry where everybody's so competitive on price. Because also there's no necessarily direct cost with a shared hosting customer. Most companies are not going to do a direct cost analysis of determining how much is this particular customer bringing in us, because you're stuffing 300, 400 customers on that server. So you're not necessarily applying the discount business model anymore. You're just applying this new sales because you just want to get the customers, because if you didn't offer a discount, then obviously you're not going to get any customers from Web Hosting Talk. So instead of discounting, I proposed another alternative. It's called, I like to just call it add value. When you add value to something, you're still able to create that enticement to act on whatever you're offering, but you don't have to discount what you're actually offering as a service. So say an example, if I'm going to sell a dedicated server, I may go to Cloudflare and I say, hey, can you guys give me a Cloudflare Pro account for 3 months on anybody who buys a dedicated server? And most vendors will probably be happy to kind of create some kind of partnership like that, because they're not necessarily losing any money, and they're going to likely gain a customer if he decides that he's going to remain on Cloudflare Pro. So it's by offering and adding value to your services, you can still differentiate yourself and still gain those customers and still get that, like, oh, I want to get that sale, because you're only going to have it off for, like, say, 7 days or something. So you're still creating that kind of enticing thing for those customers. And unfortunately, we're also seeing something where I'm sure you go to, say, a checkout page and you see a little coupon box. But have you ever gone to a checkout page and you saw a coupon box and then you're like, is there a discount? And then you open up a new tab and you go type in XYZ discount and you look for a coupon code for that company. And so what does that do? That caused you to go to another tab. You're either delaying the sale. What happens if you don't find a coupon code? Then all of a sudden, you may just say, screw you guys. I'm going to go somewhere else that is offering me a coupon code. So it's kind of a problem if you have an empty discount promo box on your page. And there's a creative way of solving that. We can actually tie in a discount to your business model. And I think HostGator has a prime example of that, where you either don't have a discount box, or say you want to insert a coupon by default. And in this case, they insert Snappy, which I believe is 20% off. And then my next question is like, is this the best discount? Can I get a better discount? And they actually solve that by, you have chosen our most valuable coupon. And now all of a sudden, I'm set, I'll just continue my checkout process. This other thing I want to talk about is a spaghetti experiment. Now, you had 2 groups of people. one group of people bought a jar of tomato sauce for $8.95, and this is a study that researchers did. And those people were offered a highly discounted rate of spaghetti, apart from the spaghetti sauce they bought for $8.95, spaghetti for a highly discounted rate of 50 cents. Now, a second group of people actually were offered the same jar of tomato sauce, but they were offered the box of spaghetti for free. And now when the researchers went back and actually asked participants how much they'd be willing to pay for a box of spaghetti, the first group that received the spaghetti at a discount were only willing to pay $1.83. But the second group were actually willing to pay $2.95 for the same box of spaghetti. So what does that mean? When discounts erode brand value immensely. And when people get something at a discount, they're no longer willing to pay the same amount for the same product. So you may be asking, okay, Cody, that's all cool stuff and all, but what would you do if you were going to say start a hosting company? If there's niche, if you need to find a niche, if you can't offer discounts, what might I do? Well, I found this template just by searching like luxury templates, and it's just lorem ipsum text. I don't bother to read the text, but the idea is say, if I'm going to start another hosting company, I may want to do something completely different, completely off the wall, completely something that's different from what's been done before. So say I create a hosting company, and I call it a luxury hosting company, and I have a concierge. I call my concierge support instead of just technical support. And I'll charge, I'm only going to limit myself to 10 customers. That's all, 10 customers. I don't need to hire anybody. I'm just going to do it myself. I'm just going to have a cell phone in my pocket, and it's going to be available for customers to call me 24/7. And you know what I'm going to charge? I'm going to charge them $1,000 a month. That may seem insane, but that's a way of finding a new niche, of doing something different. If you can add value to your own product in your own unique way, you can create value no matter what you're trying to charge your customers. And limiting myself to 10 customers allows me to highly focus on paying attention to those 10 customers. And so that can really change your business model. And so what I like to also, we'll actually touch on that on a later slide, but what I also like to do is consider something called drive innovation through inspiration. And I say that because all of our hosting companies, kind of going back to the monster theory, that when you build a hosting company, you're building it based on existing principles in the market, based on what you've seen other hosting companies do. And Pacific Coast was a combination of ideas from multiple different hosting companies. I didn't just decide I'm going to build a hosting company one day and decide, I'm going to figure it all out on my own. We all imitate. We all use other people's products and other people's ideas to create our own innovative products. And you can even do that by not necessarily copying a website design, but you can even do that by looking at what other companies are doing. And so this is actually just looking at the source code for HostGator. And we can see that they use Traffic Fans, Admiral, Podcast, Optimize, and Criteo. These are traffic platforms. And again, you don't have to copy the name, just go to the website. These are traffic platforms, ad platforms, and Optimize allows them to find out which is going to convert better, whether they're doing A/B testing on their website. And so this other thing I want to talk about, I know I'm jumping around a bit, so try and stay with me, is called the JAM study. Now this is an original study done back in 1995 by Columbia University. And they basically took, it was quite a famous experiment, and they basically took 24 jams, and they would sell it to customers, and just as a sample. And on average, customers tasted 2 jams regardless of the size assortment. But both groups in the 24 jam assortment and the 6 jam assortment were given a $1 coupon code. And so you might expect that 60% of customers were drawn to the large assortment, the 24 jams, and only 40% stopped by the 6 jam assortment. But the interesting part, though, is that 30% of people bought jam from the 6 jam sample, and only 3% bought from the 24 jam assortment. So by limiting your product selection, you make the decision easier for the consumer. And you're knocking down that barrier of what do I choose? What am I going to pick next? So an overload of options can actually paralyze people and push them in a direction that is, against your own best interest. This other thing I want to talk about is something called the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. Some of you may be familiar with it. And it says that the majority of something as a whole will actually, 20% of something will compromise the majority of something as a whole. And as a general rule of thumb, it can be applied to business or personal. But in, say, one case from a large corporation, they were offering, they did an internal audit, and they found out that their top half of their customers were generating 150% income. Now, how is that possible? It turns out that the bottom half of their customers were actually causing a net loss. And I'm sure we can all relate. So to say you're offering $5 a month hosting services. Then you have that customer, Bob, decides that he's going to call you 3 hours a day. He's going to take up 3 hours of your technical support time. So if you add up all the time that you guys are spent supporting a customer that's giving you $5 a month, are you really making money with that customer? And so being able to kind of come to our own conclusion and determine, are we actually going to gain money from this customer, and doing a cost analysis on your product as well as what you're doing to support those customers. And if I'm going to have a company, I would much rather have the customer that's paying me $100 a month and support him and not even offer the basic hosting services, because then you're going after quality over quantity. Now this next thing is kind of, I've done tons of marketing ideas and tons of marketing experiments, because it's all about trying new things. And one of the things I saw was, some of you may be familiar with the HostGator tattoo. And a few years ago, they paid this guy named Billy to put a tattoo. And now for me, I thought, man, that's a cool idea. I should do that too. But the thing is that I didn't know about where the location of the tattoo was. So short of saying, I never actually used it for anything. But this is actually the first time I'm actually showing it to you guys. But just showing that, I'm not perfect, but there's marketing ideas. You need to try new things. Not everything's going to work. But it's by trying new things that other people may have not, or even imitating another company. Because most people would have thought that, well, that's cool, but I'm not going to do it. But I tried it, but oh well. So this next thing is considering blogs. So like the HostGator blog. When you're looking at a content marketing strategy, content marketing can be really incredibly helpful if you're trying to build a company, because by putting out quality content, you're going to get people coming to you as, say, visitors, and they're going to find that you have some good content to read. And in this case, HostGator is doing everything right. They're putting out content that's relevant to their potential